15% window tint. Let's talk about it a little bit. This is 15% Prime Tint by the Wheel Concepts Tint Shop in Staten Island. It's 15% all around, including the rear windshield. And this is what it looks like during the day. From certain angles, it's blacked out. You can't see anyone in it. However, from certain angles and certain lights, you can see, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but you can see the interior and you can't see people inside. So it's more of a silhouette thing. They will still be able to see you in the car. They'll still be able to see, if you're wearing light colored clothes, they'll see your body. And I think they will see the silhouette of your shape and be able to tell some of your facial features. Let's check the inside. Before I get started, I should mention that this is not a vlog. This is just a quick review video or informational, educational, whatever. This is not a vlog. I just wanted to let people know because I was curious about it when I was trying to decide what percent tints to get. So this is what it looks like from the inside. It's actually not bad at all. This is a ceramic coat, which means that it does a better job of reducing heat. It's a lot higher quality than your basic tint, which just makes the windows darker and doesn't really absorb heat too much. These I've actually noticed because before this I had 35%, but it was a lower quality film. So whenever it was a sunnier day and I'd be driving like this, the heat would go right through and it would get uncomfortable for extended periods of time if I'm driving with the sun here. But this 15%, not only is it darker, but the ceramic coating makes it a lot cooler. You also notice this if you park in the sun and you roll your window halfway, you can tell the difference. I'll do that here in a second, but you can tell the difference between where the sun is hitting and where the tint is protecting you. Now, visibility wise during the day, look at it. I mean, that speaks for itself. It's perfect. You can see fine. You can see every single detail that you need to see. Absolutely no issues seeing out of this thing. Now, you should keep in mind that this is an illegal film. In New York City it is anyway. The legal limit is 75, which is literally nothing. It's like you can just, there's no point in having tints if you're going for 70s. But in my case, I got 15s because you can get a tint exemption if you have a skin or eye condition, namely photosensitivity and things that can impede or impair your driving if light affects you badly. So I'm allowed to get 15% tints and I can, you know, pass inspection. And if I get pulled over, there's a sticker that I put on my car that says exempt from tint laws and all that. I have been pulled over twice. I've been pulled over twice for my tints. Once I was driving at 3 a.m. in the morning. There were two stoplights facing the same direction and one of them turned green. I assumed that was my stoplight, so I went. Turns out that that was another lane's stoplight. So I got pulled over and they were like, oh, you ran a red light. I wasn't aware. After that, they told me to roll up my windows and they checked my tints and they were like, 15% is illegal, yada yada yada. I told them I have the condition, I just don't have the sticker yet. All that, they let me off. The second time I got picked out by an undercover cop in traffic. First off, I'm driving under the speed limit because it's traffic, so nobody's driving normally. As it starts to pick up, I noticed this black sedan get behind me and then he lights me up. So I pull off to the side, say, what's the problem, officer? He says, your tints are illegal. I said, sir, I'm aware of this. I have photosensitivity, yada, yada, yada. And he still wasn't taking it. I was like, I'm getting the sticker and all that. And he's still, I think he was having a bad day. He's like, if I see you again, I'm ticketing you. I was like, that's fine, but I do have the exemption. Either way, he would have lost the battle. I would have not gotten ticketed. Or if I got ticketed, it would have been dismissed because I have, you know, the documentation to show that I am tint exempt. So with that being said, this is an illegal tint. 15% is dark, very dark looking. Looks a little bit darker than 20s, but during the day, you can see fine. It's completely see-through. Even in the back, if you just wanna peek out the back. From the inside, it's completely fine, very easy to see. I have zero complaints. From the outside, you have a decent amount of privacy. You're silhouetted more from certain angles. They can't see into the car. But yeah, that's during the day. I know what you guys are here for. What you're more curious about is driving at night or what the tints look like at night. So I'll get back to you on that. This is what it looks like when you're driving window down, right? And then if you want to pull it up a little bit so it has the contrast, there it is. So you can see the actual difference between not tinted and tinted and in the shade completely. So that's the shade completely. That is tinted and that is untinted. I can actually feel the difference, the physical difference between where it's actually hot. And I can tell you that it's a lot hotter where it's bright than where it's tinted. If you're driving fully windows up, it's a huge difference. See, that's outside, it's washed out because it's so bright. But here, you see how nice that is? Later. Okay, they seem like a good a time as any to talk about 15% tint at night. So this is what it looks like. It looks black. You can still see my gauges though from this angle. But that's because I have bright gauges. But from this angle, blacked out. Just, you can't see anything. You can see through it kinda a little bit. You can barely see through it. From this side, where there's actually more light coming through. So you can kinda see, you know. But in general, it's a blacked out look. If they can see you, you're just a silhouette. They can't make out your face. Unless you're wearing bright clothing, they can't tell what color clothing you're wearing. Let's take a look inside. We are now, let's shut that off. We are now inside 15% tint at night. Honestly, it's very, very visible. The camera doesn't quite capture it. So that's the difference. This is untinted, tinted. You can see the difference there, untinted, tinted. It looks very similar. I have no problem seeing curbs. The only issue is in your rear view. If someone is driving without their headlights on at night, which is a dumb move, and they don't have daytime running lights, you're not gonna be able to see them. If you're driving on a highway that's completely black and you're alone, you're not gonna see anything behind you. You're just gonna see the front, which is your headlights. I can kind of see the back. The camera doesn't exactly capture it too well, but oh yeah, it does. You can see the back pretty clearly. But yeah, really no complaints. The only thing that does get difficult is reading house numbers and reading license plates if you don't have a direct light on them. It's hard to read like small details if they're not illuminated. So that does get difficult. You're also more likely to get pulled over at night because these look just blacked out. They look like limo tint from certain angles. From certain angles you can see into them, kind of. You can see the silhouette, you can see that there is a person inside. But from other angles it's just completely black. So let's take a drive around the neighborhood so you guys can see what it looks like with 15% tint at night. We're driving, everything looks good. You can see the difference there. But, you know, you can kind of make out the cars on camera. It looks much, much, much darker on camera than what I'm actually seeing. I can see the cars just fine, even the dark colored cars. Yeah, really no problem seeing. It's a little bit blurry, but that's just the autofocus acting up because it is dark and nighttime. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's gonna look blacked out. You can still kind of see through, silhouette on the inside. Very manageable to see from the inside. I'd recommend it.